In the 14 years that I have been collecting trophies, I have amassed over 100 platinums, and in today's video, we're going to be going through each of them in a tier list and ranking them because, well, why not? Okay, so what we've got here is all 100 platinum trophy or pictures of games of every platinum trophy I have obtained since making my account. And we are going to be separating them into a few different tiers. So the first one is going to be boring, will never touch again. These are games that I basically played them to get the platinum just so that I've got an extra platinum number on the trophy count. The next tier is a tad grindy. Now these are going to be the games where they were okay, there wasn't anything really wrong with them, but obviously, as the name suggests, it's a tad grindy, so it's something that I would maybe not touch again if I had to. Then we've got a good time, where these are ones where the platinum wasn't so hard, it's pretty straightforward, no missables, no multiple playthroughs, just a good time. Top tier, we have then got the top tier ones, which are games that are where the trophy list is good along with the game. Sometimes you get a good game and sometimes you get a good trophy list, and sometimes you can get the two. And then we've got godlike. These are ones where if I had to sell a body part in order to get my memory wiped, or if there was a little Men in Black thing to wipe my memory, I would be playing this all over again. And what we're going to do, we are going to go in chronological order, as it were, which is my very first platinum that I ever got, and that is Legends of WrestleMania. Now, I used to love wrestling games. I used to play them all of the time, and Legends of WrestleMania, although it was 14 years ago that I last got this, I remember it being a relatively easy trophy list. If you look, it's like created a career legend. You've got to do like obtaining medals, defeating opponents, completing a match without pausing, win 30 Royal Rumbles. They're all very straightforward, and as you can see, the list isn't too long, so I thought perfect time to get into it. Now with this one, it was a long time since I last played it, but I would probably put it in the boring, would never touch, just because maybe it's because I'm older and I'm not really into wrestling anymore. Same goes for the next one, which is SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. This was the same. It was like career mode, do matches. Now a lot of them are revolving around multiplayer trophies and stuff, and I'm just not into wrestling. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. If you like wrestling, great. If you don't, I just think I've grown out of it. The next one is Terminator Salvation. Now that one, okay, so with this one, I've just added a new sort of row. We've added just okay, because I've had a quick glance at some of these, and there's some that are just okay, and a tad grindy is like very specific. Terminator Salvation was like a movie spin-off for the Christian Bale Terminator. The trophy list again for that was pretty much just as you can see, it's a 2 out of 10, 6 hours. Complete the chapters, complete the game on the hardest difficulty. It's probably, if you are a trophy hunter, a platinum hunter, and you haven't got this on your list, this is probably one of the first ones that many of us got if you started back when the PS3 was out, because this is probably the first one that comes close to a 2 out of 10, 6 hour little banger. So for that, it's just okay. There's nothing special about it. I like, as bad as movie tie-ins are, I sometimes do like playing them. Now on to the next one, which is Modern Warfare 2, the original one. Now the trophy list for this one is like a 6 out of 10, and if I remember rightly, we have, obviously you've got the veteran difficulty, finish the campaign on the veteran difficulty, but if I remember rightly, these missions here are absolutely brutal. If you've played any of the Spec Ops missions from Modern Warfare 2, you'll know how bad some of these trophies can actually be. Thankfully, I was in a time where I had someone to play with, and thankfully he liked playing the Spec Ops, so we just hammered these out. Obviously, you can see they were all done in the space of a couple of days, so like between the 11th and 22nd of November 2009, which is like nearly coming up to it's like 14 years ago now. 15 years ago. Now, this is obviously, it was a good time. I love Call of Duty. It's turned into something absolutely atrocious at the minute. So just bear that in mind. The game is not what it used to be, but it was good. Next, we've got The Godfather 2. Now, again, this was a long time ago that I got these. It's 15 years ago. And from what I remember, if I remember rightly, it follows... From what I remember, it's very much a Grand Theft Auto style game. So you drive around, you take over locations, you dominate, you take out all rival gangs. Like you can see here, you got to create your own mobster. You've got to eliminate all the different families. Yeah, leveling up your guns, killing mobsters. It was a very straightforward look. As you can see, they're all common. It's not a rare platinum as most people have got them. I would say it was just okay. It's nothing. And to be fair, I'd probably like to go back to it if they remade it, like made a PS5 version or remastered it. I'd probably play it. Alone in the Dark, I'm going to say boring, will never touch, because is it Alone in the Dark or is it? Yeah, Alone in the Dark Inferno. It's not Alone in the Dark. I don't remember a single thing about this game. Not a single thing. There's 50 trophies. It takes 20 hours. It's a 4 out of 10. Basically finishing without skipping. Drive all the way down. Stop your wound from bleeding. Looks like they're all story related. I genuinely, if you put a gun to my head and told me to tell you what happens in this game, I have no idea. Got it back in 2010. Been a minute since I played it. So this one is going to be our first top tier, maybe godlike, and that's Fallout 3. I'm going to put it in godlike just for the time being, because Fallout is one of my favorite franchises. Now, I've not played Fallout 76. I'm not a massive multiplayer RPG style guy, so I was really gutted when they went that direction. Fallout 4, it's okay. New Vegas and Fallout 3 are by far the best of the series. I absolutely love them. I go back regularly and play them, and I'm currently working on the New Vegas Platinum for my backlog, mainly because Fallout New Vegas, I never got the Platinum for that because it's multiple endings, and I used to hate having to play up to a certain point and replay and everything, but for the sake of the Platinum, I think we have to, so we are doing that on the backlog. But godlike for Fallout 3, God of War 3, top tier. From what I remember of God of War 3, it's basically finish the story, yeah, kill the Poseidon, get everyone. There's like combat challenges, see, kill, beat the game, beat the Challenge of Olympus, beat Titan mode. So it's just basically beating all of the hardest parts of the game and finishing the story. God of War 3 is probably one of the more fun God of Wars. Obviously, you've got the newer ones, but of the older ones, it's probably one of my favorites. And then we've got Just Cause 2. Now, Just Cause 2 is going in the just okay pile. This one was very much it's similar to like a Grand Theft Auto or a Far Cry. You've got a massive map with a dictator leading the resistance or whatever, and you basically liberate each of the parts. Obviously, with Just Cause, you've got like the zip lines and the paraglide. There's a whole bunch of like different things you can do. I've got every single Just Cause Platinum you can get. Now, Just Cause 1 doesn't have a Platinum. There's no game. I think you can play it, but there's no Platinum on it. But I've got all of the Just Cause Platinums. So it's a fun game. It's a game that you have to sink a lot of time into, but it's definitely something that I can see 80 hours here. It's a long game. It's not difficult, but it's long. Next up, we've got Prince of Persia. Again, a game I will say boring, never touch, because just like Alone in the Dark Inferno, I don't really have a lot of fond memories with it, or memories in general. Obviously, Prince of Persia is a game where it's a platform game where you've got to go around, getting past certain levels, doing jumps, doing tricks, and you've got the added benefit of being able to rewind time if you die. That's about as much as I remember from Prince of Persia. The Platinum, it's showing like it's a 10-hour, 4 out of 10, so it's not too difficult. We've got the usual, finish the story, kill 500 enemies with the sword, knock down 5 enemies with 1 kick. So there's a lot of fighting challenge ones, combat challenge. Don't worry, we won't So I'm guessing some of these, the way that they're worded, are like not secret, but you've got to work out what they are, aerial slashes. So it's very much a complete the game, defeating enemies, combat trophies. That's pretty much how that's split. Again, don't remember too much on it. Some of the ones which I'm going to fly through. Obviously, I want to go into a little bit of detail with some of them, but a lot of them, I'm literally just going to be flying through them and putting them in a spot. Saboteur, Godlight. Again, it's more... For me, Godlight doesn't have to be a stunning masterpiece. For me, it is what enjoyment I got out of the game. And although I got this platinum, when was it? Back in 2010, so 15 years ago now. The game still has a solid memory place in my brain. That makes no sense. It's very much like a Just Cause or a Far Cry where you liberate an area, but this is you liberate Paris in the middle of World War II. You play as a French resistance saboteur, and the good thing, like the niche, the thing that I found so good with it is that the areas that you don't have control over, where the German, the Third Reich are obtaining it, is black and white. And as soon as you liberate it, it goes into color. It was such a distinct way of separating the game. It's very simple, black and white color, but the aesthetic and the vibe of the game just, it was such a good thing that I still remember it to this day. So it's definitely going in Godlight for me. Up. Boring, never touch. Again, that is just a movie tie-in game. It's just like Terminator Salvation. If we look, yeah, it's like 4.5 hours, 2 out of 10. It's on there so that I've basically bumped that platinum number up. Next, we've got Prison Break: The Conspiracy. Now, this is, again, you know what? No, it's going just okay. I do remember it. You basically play characters from the TV show. You basically complete the game, complete it on hard difficulty. There are a couple of like level specific ones, like stop him from killing, knock someone out. There's a few things that you've got to do. As you can see, 3 out of 10, 8 hours. If you have got a PS3 and you're looking to bump the numbers up, it's relatively easy to do. Next is Mafia 2. So it's going in just okay. It's mainly going in just okay because, as you can see, there's one there that we'll be ranking a little bit later. And that's all we're going to do. I'll comment on the games because although they're the same game, there's a little bit of difference to it. So we'll get to that later on. Megamind is, again, it's just okay. It's basically a movie tie-in spin-off. As you can see from the PS3 era, there are a lot of tie-in games, movies, TV shows. There was like a fad going on in the PS3 era where it was just churn out any game you can related to a TV show, related to a movie. And I mainly got these because the majority of the other PlayStation games all have multiplayer trophies. And as much as I love playing Call of Duty and Battlefield and shooters, online on other games just didn't interest me, which is why I now have a graveyard of unobtainables, which we'll also be doing a video on soon if you want to check that out. Like, subscribe, hit the follow button, all that jazz. And then move on to the next one, Sly Raccoon, which was a good time. I love Sly Raccoon. I'm not going to get too much into it because, again, there's another Sly Raccoon further down. I basically got it twice. Not really, but it's not like a stackable one, but it's different. Murder Soul Suspect was a game I remember. Again, it wasn't amazing. It was a sort of like if I remember rightly, you solved your own murder. You become a ghost. Obviously, you're a police officer who becomes a ghost. Became a ghost, met a strange girl, revisit the scene. Yeah, so you basically solving your own murder as a ghost, using your ability to phase through walls and interact with humans and stuff. You've obviously got artifacts, so there's a lot of collectibles. I don't remember too much about the story, but I do remember that it wasn't horrible. Now, that's not a raging endorsement, but when it comes to platinum trophies, you can find that some of the games that aren't mainstream, aren't AAA titles, can have an awful trophy list. This wasn't too bad. Then we've got Just Cause 3. Again, just okay. Actually, this one was a little bit... Yeah, this one's a bit of a tad. I remember this one. Just Cause 3 is on like the Mediterranean map. I found that with Just Cause 4 as well, there was a lot of like nitty gritty things you either had to destroy or blow up or free. There was just that one too many things in the location that you needed to do that just dragged the game out. Next up, we've got Spider-Man. Now, this is a good time if you're looking at getting into PlayStation trophy hunting. At this stage, obviously it's the PS5. This is a perfect one to start. The game is a AAA game. The story is amazing. The graphics are stunning. And the trophy list is probably one of the easiest trophy lists you're going to get in a game as big as this. So the reason I got this platinum is because of how easy it is. I wasn't even going for platinum trophies anymore. As you can tell, I think if you look, the last platinum trophy I got was in July of 2017. And then March 2019, and then March 2024. So there's a big gap in between. Marvel Spider-Man was just got because of how simple it was. I didn't actually plan on going for it. It just happened. Spider-Man Miles Morales. So this game is, as you can see from the date, was when I was playing Call of Duty. I was making Call of Duty content. If you've been on the channel for a while, you'll know that I used to make Rebirth Island, loadout videos, daily grind. You know, I'm a sweat. And I just got fed up with Call of Duty. I wasn't going anywhere. I didn't like the content that I was making. I was feeling forced to make it. And I was like, you know what? I used to love platinum content. I'm going to give making platinum content a go. So we started with Miles Morales because one, I think if I look, the trophy list was like half done already. Yeah, so look, I got I got say halfway done. I basically got one trophy in 2021 when it dropped, and then I didn't get anything. So we got a couple. So it looks like I did the first mission in 2021 and then put it down. So I seen this as a way of, one, getting a platinum trophy to being able to make content, and two, make a little bit of dent in that backlog, which we are constantly trying to do. Again, with Spider-Man Miles Morales, you're not going to go wrong. It's a brilliant game. The story is amazing. It really should have been a DLC. I know why they sold it as a standalone, and it is a big DLC, so I think he's teetering between being a full release and a DLC, but it very much feels like a DLC. So if you go from like Spider-Man 1 to Miles Morales, you won't feel much of a difference. And again, it's a very quick platinum, very easy. Basically, finish the game, finish New Game Plus, and you're done. Now, next one was Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I'm going to put it as a good time again. Now, I love Assassin's Creed games. We are currently doing a playlist. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I am doing every Assassin's Creed Platinum on release. We started with 2. This is the only other one I've got, so it'll get thrown in there, but it will be out of order. But this was supposed to be a return to form. They have just dropped the DLC, which I have downloaded to sort of clean up as a backlog video. But apparently it was a return to form. It was more simplified. It was the way people wanted to play. They've gone a little bit the other way again with Shadows, but after Valhalla, it was very much a refreshing take on the game, way to play it, not so bogged down with all the bits and bobs you needed to do. So I thought I'll give it a go. There's a video for that on the channel. Obviously, there'll be a card. I think there'll be, if there's a video in any of these trophies that I've done, I'll pop a card in so you can check the full video out of me getting the platinum. Ghostbusters, the video game, it's going in godlike. Again, this criteria is not because it's a masterpiece or anything like that. It's just what it is to me. Ghostbusters is my favorite franchise of all time. I always remember being like 3, 4, maybe a bit older, and just having this on repeat. It's my comfort film. If I'm not well or anything like that, I throw it on. So when they made the original game, I played it to death. Problem is, PS3, multiplayer trophies. So I never got the platinum, but they remastered it and took out the online trophies, added some offline trophies, so you know I had to get it. This is an amazing game if you love the movies. To me, I know they brought the new ones out with the him out of Stranger Things and what have you, but it to me it feels like Ghostbusters 3. It feels like they've done a good job in making a sequel to the movies and it being its own thing. Fallout 4, I'm going to put it down as a good time. Problem Fallout 4 has is the base building I was never a fan of, or it was mainly because it was very limited. There was not a lot you could do with it. It didn't have a lot of utility. You've got the multiple endings, which again, I'm not a massive fan of, but we worked through and persevered. 3 glitches, so I've not been able to get the 100% because there's a glitch in one of the DLCs that I'm going to have to go back and play the whole thing over again just to get the last 6 or 7 trophies, which I don't really want to do. Maybe it be part of a backlog video. Astro's Playroom. You know what? Putting it in top tier. Everyone that has a PlayStation 5 will have Astro's Playroom, and they can get that platinum. Let's see what the guide is showing. I think it's like an hour or something like that. 5 hours. It is probably one of the most laid back, fun, just games you can play. Next, we've got the Telltale's The Expanse. The Expanse, it was a good time. I've never played Telltale games before this. Obviously, The Wolf Among Us. I have played a few now since this, but this was the first one that I went through, and that was mainly because I like The Expanse, the TV show. It's one of my binge ones, so I'll throw it on in the background while I'm grinding trophies. I've watched it that much now that it's just sort of background, but I like it. It's a shame the way that it ended, but anyway. This is basically a Telltale game. You play the game and that's it. You finish the story. You've got all the trophies. I think this one has maybe 1 or 2 missable. Not so much missable, but you have to do something in order to get them. Yeah, so like you got to give someone a gift, give them medicine. So you've got to do them before you follow on. Otherwise, you miss the story. But you get chapter select. It's neither here nor there. It's one that, not like Game of Thrones, where Game of Thrones is literally you just play the game. There's nothing you do other than just interact and do all the quick time events. Then we've got Hogwarts Legacy. Godlike for me, massive Harry Potter fan. As you can tell by the looks of this, I'm a bad nerd. I loved the Harry Potter series. I thought this game did such a good job of fleshing out the world beside from the books and the shows and the movies. I like the fact that they decided to make it a time period that's like not close to the books and the movie series. Next, we've got Spyro's Year of the Dragon. Now, obviously, Spyro games are basically get all of the gems, free all of the dragonflies, defeat all of the enemies, finish the bosses. I got this because it was part of my first 10 platinums in 10 days. I still haven't got the first one because, like most of the games in my trophy list, there's like 1 trophy on them. And with those challenges, you like to do them from 0 to 100. So we started with 2. Undertale is boring. This game got so much critical acclaim, or it was a cult classic, or whatever you want to call it, years ago. And it's okay. Thankfully, you don't need to complete the game to get the platinum, which is pretty good, and the platinum is pretty easy. They're like random trophies. If I remember rightly, half of the trophies are in one place. Where is it? There we go. So these donate to the dog shrine. There's 15 of them out of the, say 30 trophies? Yeah, 30. So literally half of the trophies are just depositing something. So you basically don't need to complete the game. Next, we go on to, where was the game? Unpacking. Do you know what? This was a good time. If you've got OCD and you love putting things in places and everything has a place for it, this is great. It's a little 3-4 hour platinum. You put your feet up, relax. I did it as part of a 10 days and 10 platinums in 10 days challenge. It's brilliant. You just put everything where it needs to go and you're done. Now, I think all of these are coming up to sort of challenge. Some of them are part of a challenge. Next, we've got a game. It's called Deponia. Now, I'm going to put that as a good time. Now, if you like point and click games, I used to love Discworld back in the day, Escape from Monkey Island. This is very much one of those types of games, so much so that even the audio sounds like old and crackly, like on an old PC, even though it's not old and crackly. It's a good time. A guide is needed though, because you need to do certain things certain ways. It's not a long game, but it's very much a complicated one. So as much as I played the game, I did stick to a guide for it. And next we've got What Remains of Edith Finch, and that's going to be in a good time. I never played it years ago because it was classed as a walk-in sim. There wasn't any, people were saying there's nothing to it, but what is to it is a fantastic story. Such a good game. And again, this is one of those ones where you just have to play. The trophies are very self-explanatory as well, so you can use a guide, but you don't really need to. But this was one where I would certainly say pay attention to the story, just play it out. It's only about an hour, 2 hours, and then you can go back with chapter select. Because if you try just like sticking to a guide, you sort of lose the essence of the game. Such a good story. It's obviously about the Finch family and all of the tragedies that happen in it, and I won't give too much away. It's an old game, so a lot of you have probably already played it, but if you haven't, definitely worth playing. Another one like that is Blackwood Crossing. This is about two kids on a train journey to somewhere, and they use their imagination to get through the ride. And again, I won't give away the story because that's basically the bulk of it. You basically finish the story and do a couple of things in the levels to get the platinum. But this is very much a story of children, loss, growing up, grief, imagination. There's all sorts of to it, and it's definitely worth your time if you haven't already played it. Now, if you're into your musical ones, or like ones with a good soundtrack or music, The Artful Escape. Now, The Artful Escape, again, I'm going to put that as a good time because I was so surprised. It's like a side scroll, so you're going from left to right, but the art style, the music, the story, you basically play as someone who's the nephew, I think, of a famous musician, and he wants to branch out and be his own thing, but then he bumps into an alien that takes him to other worlds and makes a band. It's amazing. If you haven't already played it, The Artful Escape, the music to it is unreal. Again, this was part of a challenge, so the trophy list is pretty easy. Can be done in about 4 hours. It's about a 2 out of 10. Okay, and then we've got a Ratchet and Clank A Rift Apart. I'm going to put that down to as a tad grindy just because of all of the things you've got to do and the fact that you can't unlock everything without going into New Game Plus, and you then need to sort of like play a portion of it. You basically, I think this is the most recent one. You basically play as Ratchet and another like alternate universe Ratchet, and it's a Ratchet and Clank game. Just Cause 4, we got that. Again, it's going to be a tag grindy. Now, we got a Just Cause 4 mainly because we had the rest of them, so I thought, why not? I think I had a few trophies for it as well, like already unlocked. Again, when I was starting up these trophies again, I was trying to just make a dent in ones. No, this is all okay. I must be wrong. That must be fresh. But it is a Just Cause game. I've explained the others. Then we've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. I'm going to put that just okay. It's the campaign. There's no multiplayer to it. It was basically defeat the multiplayer on Veteran, and then in like the handful of missions, you had to do certain things. If I remember rightly, one of them is complete the missions. There you go. Plant C4 without alerting enemies. Kill 7 chickens in 10 seconds. There's just a few strange ones. It's very straightforward. Veteran, if you're used to a Call of Duty Veteran campaign, it's a piece of cake. If you're not, it might be a little bit longer than what the trophy guide says. Then we've got Spider-Man 2. I'm going to put that in top tier. It was probably my favorite one out of the three. The story, the ending, the way that it moves, pushes Miles Morales on to be the main character. The Venom arc, brilliant. Trophy guide, again, it's very straightforward, not difficult. You just complete the game, you unlock everything, you complete all the enemies, complete all the side quests, and you've got the platinum. Next, I'm going to do one that a lot of people I don't see with the platinum, and I'm putting in just okay, just because for me, that's what it was. But I urge anyone who hasn't to play it. If you like Blade Runner, if you like detective noirs, if you've ever seen the show Altered Carbon on Netflix, it is like all three of them put together. You're in a world where you don't pass away, you basically put your consciousness into other bodies, but someone has been murdered and you have to work out who's done it. But they've also been like proper murdered, so they can't be reborn like everyone else. There's like this big conspiracy. It's brilliant. It's such a good game. The trophy list is a little bit awkward, which is why I put it down as just okay. The story, if you like, just want to play the game for the story, I would put it up in top tier. But for the platinum, for the trophy list, it doesn't match up to top tier, so I put it as just okay. Next, we've got the Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West, and I'm putting these in God tier, and I'm putting them in God tier just because I love the premise of the game. The world's ended, it's reborn, but everything is mechanical, and it's because of an AI, and the whole thing is just brilliant. And then they added to it with Forbidden West, making it a different part with more animals and more scenery and like swimming, and the two games together are just brilliant. Trophy list on them is relatively like not simple, but there's like perform stealth kills, perform defense, do side quests. Like there's these challenges where you've got to try and like do certain things at certain times, kill certain animals. There's a whole bunch of different variety of trophies, which also makes the game more interesting. As you can see, a lot of these games I'm saying it's like, oh, liberate this place, kill this many people, complete the story. Horizon has a lot wider variety of stories for you to, and challenges and missions for you to do. Next, we've got Toy Story 3. I'm going to put boring, never touch. I mainly got it because years ago on the PS3, I had Toy Story 3, and I was all but like 2 trophies away from the platinum. I thought that's what this was, and it wasn't. It was the PSP version. So after getting the first trophy, I realized if I just need to complete this and get this platinum out of the way. It's fun, but it's a PSP port. I was not a massive fan. As you can probably tell, I like a Funko Pop. We've got Funkos here. We've got Funkos here. So it was only right that I get Funko Fusion. I'm putting it in God tier, mainly because just I think it's me bias towards Funkos. Lego games are great. This is very much, I don't want to say a rip-off of Lego games, but if you've played a Lego game, this game will feel very, very familiar. Certain characters have certain abilities to do certain challenges, to get certain things. Same way that you get studs and characters from the Lego game. It's got some of my favorite franchises in it. It's got, well, not favorite, but it's got some good franchises in it. It's got Shaun of the Dead, He-Man, Back to the Future. There's a whole host in there. So it's a great time to play. If you haven't played it, it's definitely worth it. If you're a fan of Lego games, you will love this. Then we've got Mafia and Mafia 2. So obviously we put Mafia in. Where did I put Mafia 2? It's just okay. This I'm putting in first Mafia. We're putting in top tier. This game was, I remember playing Mafia on the PC because it wasn't on consoles when it first came out, and I loved it. The driving was like super realistic, and it was like a 1920s take on Grand Theft Auto. And then years later, they've remastered it. But the way that they've done it was like they built it from the ground up. It's the same map, it's the same things, the same vehicles, characters, weapons. Everything's the same, but it's obviously got a new lick of paint and actual voice acting. In the original, there wasn't any voice acting, or the character that you played didn't have any voice acting. So now it's such a good game. It's like Grand Theft Autos, but there's a story to it, and it's chapter based. So like the game revolves around you completing the chapters, completing the game, again, taking out certain enemies. There's collectibles in this, which can be a little bit grindy. This one, along with it, I'm going to put it as a good time just because this has a worse grind, like a big grind. The collectibles, there's like wanted posters, there's a few other things, and they are some of the hardest to locate. There's some where you've got to like drive off a bridge to land on a roof, but if you go too quick, you go off the roof, and there's just a lot of collecting. But even though it's grindy, the story to it is great. I also love the way that they tie in the story from 2 to 1. As you'll probably see if you've played them. If you haven't, play them and find out. Then we've got collectible card shop master. This is probably the only shovelware that I've got on here. It was about 20 minutes, half an hour. It was like 6 months ago when all of these trading card simulators on the PC were everywhere and people were making content on it. And I seen the game there. I think I actually got it for free. I think the company sent me a code, and I was like, I'll give it a go. I'll record it. We can maybe make some content. It wasn't great. It's obviously very basic, but the platinum was basically for, I want to say, doing nothing. Then we've got Sniper Elite Resistance. I'm gonna say it was a good time. Now, I've never played, as you can see here, I've not got another platinum, and I'd never actually played a Sniper Elite game. Obviously, I've seen them. You've got the X-ray and the bullets, and to be fair, they did look good, but I'm not a massive World War II player. Like, I like the World War II games, but I've played too many Call of Duties, like old OG Call of Duties and Medal of Honors years ago to be bothered playing them. But this one stood out. I don't know why. I don't know what caught me attention. But it was great. It was such a good game. Okay, next we've got God of War and God of War Ragnarok. They were the next two in order. Where is God of War Ragnarok? They're going in God tier because, let's face it, they are quality. The trophies aren't too difficult either. Basically, finish the game, grab the collectibles, but the story is what makes these godlike. We are going to try and fly through some of these just because there's not a lot to say on them. Next, we've got a game that I loved. I had an Xbox, and it was originally a release on the Xbox, and I used the thought of Day of the Dead. Is it Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead? One of them is like being locked in a mall and being surrounded by zombies and using whatever you can. The fact that they made this a game was just such an interesting concept to me, and I loved it. I used to play the hell out of it. I was so bad at it. I never got to the end. But they did release this on the PlayStation years later, and then I tried it. If you all know what game I'm about to say, you'll know why I didn't get the platinum on the original, but they remastered it and made it a lot easier. And that is Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered. This is where they obviously remastered the game, made everything a lot easier, and made that 7-day thing where you've got to survive 7 days in the mall a lot easier. Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, I'm going to put that in just okay. Now, the reason I went for this is because I wanted to be one of the first to get the platinum, because it like dropped. I got like the tweet to say that it had dropped, and I was like, oh, nobody's got the platinum yet, so I'm going to try and be the first to get it. And I think if we go to... there we have it. So I wanted to be one of the first achievers. When you look though, I think these had like certain trophies unlocked, and they just had to get the studs. They sort of stacked it. So, you know, I was just about to say, like, it shows me here as like 20th. So I got it on the 10th of March, which was 3 days after it dropped. But if you look here where it says he's the first to get it, it says here he didn't get the platinum until the 26th of March, but he got the first. So see how he got that the 7th. So I don't know how that works, but the aim was to be the first. I never ended up being the first, but I did get the one. I am number 20 in the list, so that's what we wanted with that one. That's the reason we've got the platinum for that. And then we've got RoboCop Rogue City. I got this because everyone was raving on about basically the game, that it's like a good movie adaptation, or it's not really based off a movie, but based off a movie character. And to be honest, it's true. The likenesses of the characters, the likenesses of the actors from the original film, the feel of the game, it feels like you're in a RoboCop movie, if that makes sense. Next up, we've got Atomfall. Now, Atomfall I got because I live technically about an hour away from where this is fictionally set. It's set in a quintessential British village, and it's like Britain meets Fallout. That's what everyone was saying. It's not. There's a lot of differences to it, but from the outside, a veneer, what you first see, it very much feels like a British Fallout, and that's what brought me in. But when you get in, it's amazing. The weapons, the fighting, the stealth, the story, it's great. It's such a different take on a British game. It's been a while since I played something set in England that's as fun as this. Next, Alone in the Dark. We got the platinum for this mainly because I got a code for it. The developers sent me a code. So I was like, you know what? I've never played an Alone in the Dark game. I like David Harbour. I like Jodie Comer. Why not? It's a good game. It's worth playing if you haven't already. The story is fun for a horror film, for a horror game. The only thing I would say is the story is, with it being very linear, even like there's two characters, you're supposed to play two characters, but it's the same story from different aspects. I'd rather the story went off in different ways for the different characters, but you kind of just sort of like seeing different aspects of what happens. Trophy list, pretty straightforward. Not a lot to it. Complete the story, do certain things, get all the collectibles. Jak and Daxter, the Precursor's Legacy, is just okay. It's one of my favorite mascot games. So like I love love Jak probably more than Crash. I'm more of a Jak than a Crash. But it shows its age. It definitely shows its age. Then we've got another British game that, if you're from England, you ever watched 70s, 80s style comedy TV, if you're a fan of Matt Berry, then you'll love this game. Thank goodness you're here. This is a platinum that you can get in about 2 hours, 3 hours. It's very straightforward. There's not a lot to it. It's very much a do certain things. Like there's different like things in the map, but it's very much like, if you remember, like Where's Wally, Where's Waldo books in that art style, with British humor, British actors. The pause menu, for Christ's sake, looks like it's a TV show, like the back end, like the back streets of Coronation Street. It's just British, so it's going in godlike for me, just because it's just it speaks to something about my inner Brit. Next, we got the Batman Telltale series. I'm putting that in a... Actually, this one's just okay. The first one, I thought was a good story. It was a nice take on Batman stories. If this story is played out in comics, then I haven't seen it. I'm not a massive comic reader, but it certainly hasn't been played out in TV shows or movies. So it was good to see that side of a Batman story. Next, we've got The Sims 4. Sims 4, I'm never touching again. The only reason I got The Sims 4 is because the way that The Sims work is you can save families at certain points. So basically every trophy you can get, if you search the word trophy in the family, you basically load it up, you wait a couple of minutes, do a couple of things, and then you get a few trophies, delete the family, start a new family, use the different trophy, and that's it. You got the platinum in about... For me, it took me about 5 or 6 hours, mainly because I couldn't get used to the downloading of the families and what I was doing wrong. But the guide says you can do it in about half an hour, which I think is very, very generous. Now, these last couple were all part of a 10 platinum in 10 days. And the next one, Spyro, is the same. It's Spyro 3 Ripto's Rage. I got that mainly for the platinum. It's about, there's 12 hours, but it may be a bit longer. The thing is just complete the games, collect all the studs, unlock all the gems, straightforward. Donut County was a fun game. It's only like a 3-hour platinum, but it's basically you're a hole, you move the hole around, the hole swallows things up, the hole gets bigger until you consume the whole map. There's not a lot to it. There's things about raccoons and donuts and buying shops, and there's a story to it, but I never really paid attention. There's a couple of like miscellaneous trophies, but for the most part, it's just complete the story. And it only takes about 3 hours or so, but and as much as I'm not making it sound great with it just being a hole, it swallows things up. I actually had a blast with it. Another one I had a blast with, and I thought was a nice take on a game. One of the things you find when you do these challenges, the 10 days, the 30 days, is you play games you wouldn't normally play, and you find that some games are really good. And that is the Plucky Squire. That is basically a book character, and you basically move your way through the pages of the book, but then also come out of the book in order to collect things and unlock places and find keys. It sort of like mixes the 2D and the 3D of the game. It's such a good thing where your character jumps out of the pages of a book and you're on a table and you can climb the jar with the paint and the what go across the ruler and stuff. It's such a good game. Again, just complete the story. You'll have pretty much all of the trophies done with just a few to clean up. Next is a trilogy of games that I got all at once, and that is the Mass Effect trilogy. And if you haven't got the Mass Effect trilogy games platinumed, do so. And if you haven't got them as your god tier, then what are you doing? These three are probably one of the best trilogies ever made in gaming. And I know a lot of people say, oh, the ending's just red, green, and blue. But to be honest, if you play and do, the way that I did it is I got all three platinums back to back to back. And if you play it like that, the story makes a lot more sense. I think the problem with it originally is there was such a long time between Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 3 that by the time we got to 3, the ending became lackluster. I think if you play them all, which is a hell of a thing to do, but if you play all three of them back to back to back, I think you'll feel that the story ends in a much better way. We've got Need for Speed. Now, the reason I'm gonna put this in a good time. Now, the reason I got this platinum was because some reason they were popping up on my YouTube feed. People were completing a Need for Speed game like the old Most Wanteds and Underground 2s with the starting car. So in Need for Speed games, you always get a choice of like 3 or 4 cars, and they basically tried to complete the game with just those. So I decided to see if I could get a platinum trophy with just the starting car, and we did. That video is obviously on the channel. It's probably one of my better performing videos, so if you haven't already checked it out, please do so. And yeah, it was fun. Basically, you win all the races, upgrade the car, buy parts, modify it, add bumpers, spoilers, all that sort of jazz. But you just do it. I did it with just the starting car. There was a couple of things that you needed to do, so like add more cars to the garage, but obviously I recorded and showed me buying them and deleting them so that you could see that once the trophy was got, I got rid of it, just so that we could get that as close to as possible as you could. But there was only 2 trophies that I had to do that with, but we got there in the end. Next, we've got Hello Neighbor 2. Never play that again. It's awful. It's like a hiding game. There's a lot of bugs. It's not great. It's difficult to play. I did it for a challenge. Not much more said. Call of the Sea is it's okay. It's a good story. It's only about 3 or 4 hours. If you like a walking sim style game similar to Edith Fincher, like that. Next, we've got The Last of Us Part 1. I did that, which is god tier for me, mainly because obviously the story, the graphics, it's all updated. I'd never played The Last of Us Part 1, so I didn't have a platinum. I didn't want to go and try and get a PS3 one because you had to do like things on ground and everything. The trophy list is a hell of a lot easier on this one. So that's the one we went with. Next, Mafia Old Country is a good time. Mafia Old Country is basically a prequel-ish side story to the Mafia series. I got it because I've got all the other Mafias. I love the series, so why not? It's good. I would say not the best Mafia game. But maybe that's just where it's set, because it's set in Sicily rather than like the Americas as it's set in the originals. But it's still a good game. Graphics unreal. Then we've got Darksiders. I want to try and get the Darksiders trilogy of games. They announced that I always remember this dropping and thinking, oh yeah, that'd be great, Darksiders. Each game's gonna have one of the horsemen of the apocalypse, and that was the plan. And then they just cancelled it at 3. So I never really picked up 2, 3. But they've announced that 4 is coming out, so we started getting them. So Darksiders 1 is there. It's a great game. You play as War. He's framed for the apocalypse. You basically try clear your name, take out all the demons in the process, and get the trophy. Then we've got Assassin's Creed 2, which is a good time. Assassin's Creed 2 is the classic. I got it from the Ezio trilogy. It's not the original one. We are working through getting every single Assassin's Creed Platinum. So Assassin's Creed 2 was the one where we're starting at. We are currently working on Brotherhood, but it's basically complete all of the stories, collect all of like the feathers and the other bits and bobs, upgrade your house, upgrade your village that you get in there. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of difficulty, just a lot of these games here. The majority of them are from my 30 platinums in 30 days, so we're going to get through them as quickly as possible. Game of Thrones, I didn't really like the story. It was not great. Aladdin, it as close to shovelware as you can get. There's a fast forward feature. There is a bit where you don't have to do anything other than just like watch and then pause, unpause, do the bit you need to do. It's very straightforward. Same thing with Doom. Wouldn't do it again. It's basically you play the Doom games, you complete the levels, you get so many kills and so many guns, but you can put cheats on there. So obviously I put God mode, no clipping, and you get it done in about an hour. Peppa Pig is Peppa Pig. I don't need to explain that. Blocky Blast is basically like a knockoff Tetris, which looked from the pictures like it was going to be all right, but the controls were just unresponsive. It was, dare I say, shovelware. Zombie Town, I wouldn't really play it again. I mainly played it for the challenge, but I also played it because if you remember, I saved this in the video, if you remember Newgrounds website, he had like all flash games like Gangster Wars and Drug Wars and Mafia Wars and all those types of games. It reminded me of that, so I just played it because that's what it reminded me of. Snaky Bus, I'm going to put in just okay. It's a game where you drive a bus. It's basically like Snake, but with buses. You drive a bus, you collect passengers, you drop the passengers off, you get another bus on the end, then you get another bus on the end, so you got loads of carriages, so it turns into like a train. And then you basically, you've got to try and get a certain score without stopping, basically, obviously getting yourself caught by going round and round. Tiny Racers, if you liked what they call Micro Machines, if you remember the Micro Machines games years ago, that's what it's like. Top down, you're driving a toy car on kitchen tables, bedrooms, worktops. It's actually quite fun. Concrete Genie, I'm going to put here as top tier. I loved it. The art style, the way that you use your paint to colorify the village again. You've got a bit of hiding to do, a bit of stealth. There's some puzzles. Such a really good game. Trophy list, very straightforward. NCIS is just a TV slot like the rest of them. It was one that I never got to on the PlayStation 3 era, and it can be done in a few hours. You literally just play the game. There's about 3 episodes, and once you've done that, you've got the platinum. Sly Cooper, I got the platinum again just because I could, and it was a quick one for the challenge. Moving Houses is a good time. This is a weird one. It's a F-mod game where you just basically similar to unpacking, but you do it the other way. You pack up the house, but there's a side horror ghost story alongside it that you don't really see coming. Such a good one, and the trophy list is straightforward. Goat Simulator, if you've done a 30 days and 30 platinums in 30 days challenge, you know why Goat Simulator is there. It's what do they call it? It's called required reading. That's probably the best closest term that I can get to it. This one is, it's called Bridges and Docks. You basically make bridges and docks, kind of. You build an island, you can sort of like place grassland, bushes, animals, buildings, bridges, docks, and in doing so, you basically complete the game. The game is just complete the tutorial to unlock everything, and then it asks you to do certain things like build a bridge 15 blocks high, place 50 buildings down on an island, make an island random, like the stuff like that. Batman, The Enemy Within, I'm going to put that as boring. It was probably the worst, as much as the Batman was probably one of the better Batman stories I've seen. This, I couldn't get behind. It was like Batman going undercover and then like how the Joker turned into the Joker. It just wasn't good. This one, again, is similar. It's basically it's Goosebumps. It's a Goosebumps Hello Neighbor 2. It's hide, run. It's awful, but it's easy. You basically complete all 3 levels and die to every single different type of enemy. That's it. That's all you've got to do. Bluey was the 100th platinum. I got that basically for the memes because I thought, we've got Peppa Pig. I'm on 100. Why not get Bluey? Then we've got this one, which is it's okay. It's free. And it's basically a story about the Jews in World War II. I won't go into it too much. It's a very good story. It's very worth watching. Similar to like Edith Finch and Blackwood Crossing. Don't really want to give it away because that's the whole thing to it, but it's definitely worth playing. And when you complete it, you've got the platinum. Football Manager is a tad grindy. Basically, you've just got to win every game. If you win every game and do some of the challenges like selling a player, buying a player, outbid for a player, offer a contract, you'll get it. But there's a lot of games you've got to win between like the start and the finish to get the platinum. Terminator Salvation, not Terminator Salvation, Terminator Resistance is basically made by the same people who made RoboCop Rogue City. It is basically a prequel to the movie. Like the movie, the game ends where the movie starts, basically. It's good. Complete the game, kill certain enemies with certain weapons, and you've got the platinum. Viewfinder, really good game. The thing with the Viewfinder, it's like perspective. So you have like pictures and you hold them in a certain way and you lock them in. It then lets you like go through the picture. The picture will turn like into a bridge or whatever. It's really good. You basically just complete all the levels. Up is a PS port of the other one. It's just awful. Pinball Heroes, it's an old PS3 pinball game that's been ported to the PS5. It's got like each of the tables are different old PS3 games like Mod Nation and stuff, and all you got to do is get the high score and play the game, play the table. The Gardens Between, I'm gonna put that. I had a good time with that one. That was like it's like a fast forward rewind mechanic that you've got to get around the maps, and it's like kids with an imagination saying goodbye to each other. They were like neighbors and now they're not. Story's great. I don't those types of games I don't really want to give too much away because the story's half, 3/4 of the whole thing, and the trophies just come along with it. So I don't really want to spoil something like that. Same with Jusant. Jusant is a climbing game, like a free climbing game, where you climb from the bottom to the top, in like a world that's been ravaged by time. Again, the story's great. It's something I would urge you to play. The trophies aren't difficult. There is collectibles, but there is a chat to select, so you can't really miss any of them. Then we've got Astrobot. Now, obviously, I loved Astro's Playroom. Astrobot is like the full release of it. The fact that they've got like old peripherals, characters, the bots are like, you can get like an Aloy bot or a Nathan Drake bot, or it's just got a nice PlayStation feel to it. Scribblenauts Showdown. Now, Scribblenauts Showdown was a game. Scribblenauts I used to love. I think it was like on the DS or the 3DS. It's like a puzzle game where you could type anything and it would put it in there and you can then use it. This is like a Mario Party version of that. It was fun. It was a lot of mini games. You complete mini games. You do certain things in mini games, and you get the platinum. Multiverses is again, it's just okay. This one is a boy that breaks the multiverse, and the fellow with the hat in the image is the one that guides you around to try and fix it. Each level is like, there's two parts to it, so you'll flip between the two and complete puzzles because of it. Like, you'll have one that's like grassy, but then it's like nighttime, or you'll go somewhere and the gas is poisonous in one world, so you have to flip to turn the poison off to go past and then turn it on. Stuff like that. It's very straightforward. You can't miss it. There's one missable. Quick time, you got to do two quick time events in the one playthrough, otherwise you're gonna have to play it through again completely, but they're almost impossible to miss. Lake is, I'm gonna put it down here just because I didn't mind it, but you essentially play a girl who goes back to her hometown surrounded by a lake and takes over her dad's job as a mailman, and you sort of like reconnect with old friends, romances, there's stuff like that. It's okay. It's not amazing. All you got to do is play the game up to the last day, save, and just keep replaying the last day, making the last options, and you get the trophy. Bright Memory Infinite, I'm going to put up here as top tier. Now, it's a Chinese game. The graphics are awful. The story is a bit weird, but the gameplay is what brings it up. For some reason, there's like, you've got a sword, gun, slide, double jump, and you mix them all together in order to like do combos. The gameplay for me is what sets that apart. And it's easy, as in you've got, all you do is you complete the game on the second hardest difficulty to unlock the hardest difficulty, defeat the hardest, go to the last boss, complete the last boss on the hardest difficulty, and then get so many kills with all different guns. It's really straightforward, and I would just ignore the story because the gameplay is what sets this apart from everything else. Then we've got Cocoon, which was a game that was on Game Pass. Or is now on PlayStation Plus. Sorry, not Game Pass. Wrong console. It's weird. I don't know what I can say about it. It's like you play this like moth person thing, and like you then get orbs, and those orbs have got worlds inside them, and you can take one orb into the next orb to pull them out and then do something else, and then each orb has a different color, has a different power. So confusing. Then we've got the last most recent ones. So we've got Saints Row the Third, which is okay. Obviously, if I'd have platinum that back in the day, it'd probably go a bit higher, but the fact that you can only play it in 720p, I was playing it on a PlayStation 3 through a HDMI converter, through a capture card on a 4K monitor, and it was only 720p. The thing was difficult to play, to say the least. But we were doing it as part of the cleanup. We had like 30% of the trophies remaining, so we polished that off with some of the, like, basically similar to Grand Theft Auto, the Mafia. You take over areas, kill enemies, steal cars, stuff like that. Then you got Modern Warfare 2019, mainly because this was, it's just okay. Don't be wrong, it's a good Call of Duty. Graphics are amazing. Story is probably the best that we've had in a while. Trophy list, though, it's just pretty straightforward. There's not one difficult trophy in it, and every trophy is like, normally you've got Call of Duties, you've got basically finish it on veteran, which for the most part on this wasn't that difficult. And then every other one is like do something in a mission. Like one of them was carry a brick to the end of the mission. The next one was to kill every enemy with just one bullet and not get shot. There was not a lot of difficulty to them. Then we've got Lego Marvel Superheroes, which was a good time. It was part of the cleanup video that I did. I made the mistake years ago because there was like a trophy where you needed to have two players, one playing as Captain America and one playing as the Human Torch, because obviously Chris Evans played both of them. I assumed you needed two consoles or like online for it to work, and you didn't. You just needed another controller. So for years that sat there uncompleted. So when I realized that, I downloaded it again, finished it, and there we go. And then lastly, the most recent one is Lego Dimensions. It's somewhere between the two. If there was something that was rather than a tad grindy, it was a super grindy, then that's it. The game's puzzles, while good, like you've got like certain things you need to do, and then you need to put certain characters on the mat and the pad. It's good for about 5 minutes, and then after that, it just gets boring. And it's one of the longest Lego games you will ever play. The studs are less. The whole thing's just weird. It's just a Lego game separate to the others. It's like they made these Lego games and they were like, you know what, we'll try something different. And that different didn't pay off. So this is my tier list of platinums that I've received for the first 100 platinums that I've got. So the next plan is to keep a record of this here so that if we reach 200, I'll make the next one and we can work through those and see where they line up, if any of my opinions change, or if I want to change the location of any of them. If you did enjoy this video and you want to see more like this, there are some platinum videos coming out. There's tip videos on here. There are challenge videos on here. If you've got any suggestions, drop them in the comments. And until next time, I'll smell you later.